Hello, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about whether the ideas are running out in dubstep. Not a statement, I'm going to make that clear before we get going here. Yeah, don't think anyone could definitively say that dubstep has completely run out of ideas in the last couple of years or so, or over whatever stretch of time. It's more a question to open up discussion with all of you. You know, we'll all have our own views and opinions, they'll all be different, based on our own experience of this genre, and I just want to lay out here how I see it. I've been thinking this for a while, but I thought it in particular after hearing the new Excision and Downlink track, Resistance. You know, both of them have made amazing music in the past, both individually and as a duo, and also as Destroyed, of course. But this song, even though the introduction is fantastic and all the interlude bits are great as well, and as a sequel to the Existence VIP, you know, as an idea in itself, in principle, that's great. But the heaviness is so plain and lifeless and, you know, just doesn't do anything. Nothing really happens, and it just surprised me and puzzled me that, considering what they can do, they were satisfied with that. And it solidified a thought I've had in my head for a fair few years now. Is it the case that dubstep is running out of ideas? Is the creation, invention, and ingenuity in dubstep running dry? As the genre has evolved meteorically in the last couple of years or so, I've noticed two things have come more into focus. One, you know, on the one hand, it's become about who has got the best sound design, you know, who has the best sounds, the best execution, whose sound is freshest. But also, on the other hand, it's about who can go the heaviest with their music, who has that headbang appeal, whose music will sound the most full-on and impactful in a live environment. Two different approaches and different kinds of competition in many respects as well. But in both cases, the result is the same. The creativity is lost. On the one hand, I can think of example after example where the sound design is amazing, but the ideas do nothing to make me want to go back to them again and again. And similarly, you know, perhaps even more so, example after example where the music is heavy to the point that it's overblown, and any inkling of invention or ingenuity goes straight out the window. There's simply no room for it. Just to be clear, this isn't me saying that there aren't any creative dubstep producers out there. Of course there are. I think of those, for example, venturing into melodic dubstep, where melody and heaviness can be blended so well together. Also those delving into future riddim, you know, that kind of stuff, where the idea can stretch a song beyond any quarter note structure and make it seem like it isn't riddim at all, like Tripolar Dub by Achios, for example. Also, it isn't me saying that you can't get outright heavy dubstep that's great, you know, if the production is right, if there are enough bits of variation over its course, it can be exactly what you want, and I think here of producers like Sudden Death and Marauder, who have become experts at that. I also think of Space Lace's Voltage mixes, which, even though they incorporate a lot of other genres as well, have a lot of amazing, wild, out there, ambitious dubstep in them, and also someone like Subtronics, who always manages to make his music interesting, quirky, and inventive in some way. But these examples, and the other few pushing the boat, are very, very few in the context of dubstep today. Bottom line is that creativity is anything but consistent in this scene at the moment. My reaction, for example, to tracks like the new Dr. Rosie and Chime collab or Polyriddim, just to name a couple, is proof of how big a relief it is to hear stuff that's branching out again, you know, being ambitious and different, and yeah, it's just stuff to give you hope. No doubt, many of you will be quick to refute what I'm saying here, that dubstep is in fact thriving and in a good position creatively. If you are one of them, I would implore you to check out a playlist that I made a few months ago at the beginning of the year on stuff from the last decade, most of it being from around 2011 to 2016 or 17 or so. We'll link it below. You got your Skrillex, you know, early Zomboy and Eptic, Nero, 501, Kill the Noise, Getter, Must Die, The Frim, Virtual Riot, Barely Alive. I could go on and on. and tell me, after shuffling through that the creative health of dubstep right now is on any sort of level with that comparatively. More and more people are making dubstep, or modern dubstep if you want to be more specific, than ever. So you'd assume that would mean an injection of fresh ideas, but the reality is that it's a thing now of anyone feeling like they can do it. No real musical or production expertise needed, just an ability to make a simple beat and add a few sounds here and there, which in turn waters everything down ideas-wise, and resultantly that becomes the norm, and we become accustomed to mediocrity as a result following that, which is exactly what's happened in this scene in the last few years or so. On top of that, the ideas of most of the bigger dubstep producers have become less and less creative. You know, not naming any names here, but it is what's happened, and you know, nothing to blame anyone for. It's completely natural to lose inspiration over time, especially considering how groundbreaking those ideas were. But when you couple that with, as I mentioned, a new wave of producers who feel they can just make whatever and people will like it, and many others going solely for greatness with either sound design or heaviness, again, as I mentioned earlier, the creativity suffers. It's just what happens. As someone who's listened consistently from 2010, that is what it is from my perspective, and I can only deduce from there that the ideas are indeed running dry. Just how I'm seeing it, feel free to prove me completely wrong in the comments down below, but don't just launch your tirade. I want to see what you're saying backed up with examples. You know, the reason I'm making this video is because I can't see many of those examples today. So this is your chance to say I'm wrong with your own proof. But again, do be sure to check out that 2010s playlist I made, which is in the description down below, for just a bit of perspective, honestly, please. I am very happy to be proved wrong. You know, this is the genre of music that I've probably listened to most in my life, and that I care about most as well, out of all the genres I've kind of come into contact with in my time. And I want to realise the good that is there, if it is still there, and simultaneously see what we can do to get it back to the place it was in. You know, we're all on the same team here. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, even if you didn't agree with me. Drop your thoughts down below, I'm sure you will have some. And subscribe to the channel as well if you're yet to, for all things bass music, and I will see you legends in the next one. Peace out.